Xmen Evolution, you have a lot of people out there that are fans of it. If they never watched the X-Men from Fox or the Wolverine and the Xmen series that has been out on Nickelodeon, on Nicktoons lately, if you never watched those series, you probably would be a big fan of Xmen Evolution. You probably would have liked Xmen Evolution a lot. But if you actually were to compare Xmen Evolution to the X-Men series on Fox, that was on Fox back in the 90s, and Wolverine and the X-Men that's now on Nicktoons, you'd realize that Xmen Evolution kind of sucks. It does. It is honestly honestly kind of a bad cartoon. They tried to make it more like the way the X-Men were in the 1960s, because you had Scott Summers, Jean Grey, Iceman, and Beast starting out as teenagers, and you gotta figure out, well, how could Wolverine and Storm play in if they were to do it like that, and they put them in as teachers, and they actually put Beast in, not as a teenager, but as a teacher as well. So that was a pretty good idea. The problem is, it didn't really feel like X-Men, because you didn't really have the love triangle between Wolverine, Jean, and Scott Summers that you had in the 90s, and yet you're used to having from the comic book story. You didn't really have, and the story against Apocalypse was not right at all, because he had Angel in the cartoon, the X-Men Evolution, but he was never turned into Archangel. And that's kind of stupid, because that's what happens in the comic book. That's what happens in the story. And both Wolverine and the X-Men and the Fox series did that. That's what made those two series better than X-Men Evolution. The only thing that X-Men Evolution really hit the mark on is they actually decided to tell us that Havoc is Scott Summers' brother. The Fox series never told us that. And they were on for like, what, 4 or 5 seasons? They had more than enough time to tell us. But they only hinted on it a little bit, because they had a fight between Havoc and Cyclops, and their powers sort of cancel each other out. So that was a hint that they're brothers, really. And there's one scene in Days of Future Past, I believe, where you have them fighting side by side. So that's a hint that they're brothers, really, but they don't really come out and tell you what they're brothers. What else? They tried to do to make it better. They actually had X-23 in X-Men Evolution. That was probably one of my favorite episodes of X-Men Evolution. But really, that was just because of that it still didn't make it all that great. I mean, they tried to make it a little bit more like the first X-Men movie, and yeah. I like the first X-Men movie, but this X-Men Evolution just really wasn't all that great. I mean, you got Mystique as a principal of a school. That doesn't really work with me very well, because I'm more used to thinking of the Xavier School as a private school, and thinking, why did the X-Men have to go to another high school in order to learn stuff, and they're already in the Xavier School? It just didn't make sense to me. So it doesn't really work all that great. Sorry.